Charles II was born on May 29, 1630, in St. James's Palace in London, England. He was the eldest surviving son of King Charles I and Queen Henrietta Maria of France. Charles II was born during a time of great political and religious turmoil in England, with tensions between the king and Parliament reaching a boiling point. In 1649, Charles's father, King Charles I, was executed during the English Civil War, and Charles went into exile in France. He spent much of his early life in Europe, traveling between France, Spain, and the Dutch Republic. During this time, he was educated in languages, history, and the arts, and he developed a love of theatre and music. Charles spent much of his time in France during his exile, and he developed a taste for the lavish lifestyle of the French court. He was particularly influenced by the reign of Louis XIV, who was known for his grandeur and extravagance. In 1660, after the restoration of the monarchy in England, Charles returned to England and was crowned King Charles II, on his 30th birthday. The restoration marked a return to stability after years of civil war and republican rule, and Charles's coronation was a joyous occasion, celebrated by many in England. Charles's reign was marked by political instability, including the Popish plot and the Exclusion crisis. The Popish plot was a fabricated conspiracy to assassinate Charles and replace him with his Catholic brother, James, while the Exclusion crisis was a political movement to exclude James from the throne due to his Catholicism. Despite these challenges, Charles was a popular king, known for his charm and wit. He was a skilled politician, able to navigate the complex political landscape of his time with ease. He was also known for his love of pleasure, and his court was renowned for its parties and entertainment. Charles was known as the Merry Monarch. Charles was an avid patron of the arts, sciences, and astronomy, and he helped to establish the Royal Society, which promoted scientific inquiry. The Royal Society was founded in 1660, and it played a key role in the development of modern science in England. He also founded the Royal Observatory in Greenwich. Charles was also a keen sportsman, and he enjoyed horse racing, hunting, and other outdoor activities. He was particularly fond of horse racing, and he was a regular patron of Newmarket Racecourse, where he would watch his own horses compete. Charles had several mistresses throughout his life, and he fathered numerous illegitimate children. His most famous mistress was Barbara Palmer, who was created Countess of Castlemaine and Duchess of Cleveland. He also had relationships with other women, including Nell Gwyn and Louise de Kerwale. Diana, Princess of Wales, was descended from two of Charles's illegitimate sons, the Dukes of Richmond and Grafton. Diana's son William, Prince of Wales, heir to the British throne, is likely to be the first monarch descended from Charles II. Also, through the Duke of Richmond, Charles is also an ancestor of Queen Camilla of the United Kingdom. Charles married Catherine of Braganza in 1662, but the marriage was not a happy one, and the couple had no children. Catherine was a devout Catholic, and her religion was a source of tension between her and Charles. She also struggled to adapt to the English court, which was very different from the Portuguese court she had grown up in. In 1665, London was hit by a devastating outbreak of the bubonic plague, which killed tens of thousands of people. The plague was spread by fleas carried by rats, and it was particularly virulent in the crowded and unsanitary conditions of 17th-century London. It is estimated that 1/6 of the population died in the Great Plague. The following year, a great fire destroyed much of London, including the old St. Paul's Cathedral. The Great Fire of London started in a bakery on Pudding Lane and quickly spread, fueled by strong winds and the many wooden buildings in the city. The fire raged for 4 days before it was finally extinguished. After the fire, Charles helped to oversee the rebuilding of the city, including the construction of new buildings and streets. Charles's reign also saw the colonization of North America, with the establishment of the Carolina Colony and the founding of the city of Charleston in 1670. The Carolina Colony was named after Charles, and it was established as a proprietary colony, meaning it was owned by a group of proprietors who were granted the right to govern and develop the colony. Charles was also involved in the colonization of the Caribbean, where England had established several colonies in the 17th century. In 1664, Charles granted a charter to the Royal African Company, which was involved in the slave trade and the colonization of Africa. Charles's reign was also marked by the Second Anglo-Dutch War, which lasted from 1665 to 1667. The war was fought between England and the Dutch Republic over trade and colonial disputes. The war ended with the Treaty of Breda, which gave England control of New Amsterdam, later renamed New York, in exchange for the Dutch receiving control of the Spice Islands. In 1670, Charles signed the Treaty of Dover with France, which was a secret treaty between England and France to ally against the Dutch Republic. The treaty also included a secret clause in which Charles promised to convert to Catholicism in exchange for French support. Charles did not follow through on the promise, but the treaty was a source of tension between England and the Dutch Republic. In 1673, Charles faced the Test Act, which required public officials to take communion in the Church of England and swear an oath against transubstantiation. The act was aimed at excluding Catholics from public office, and Charles was forced to dismiss several Catholic officials from his government. Charles's reign was also marked by the development of the British Navy, which became a powerful force under the leadership of Admiral Robert Blake and others. The Navy played a key role in protecting British trade and colonies, and it helped to establish England as a major naval power. Charles died on February 6, 1685, aged 54, of an apoplectic fit, suffered 4 days earlier, and was succeeded by his brother James II. Charles's reign was marked by political turmoil and social change, including the restoration of the monarchy, the colonization of North America, the Great Fire of London, and the Second Anglo-Dutch War. Despite these challenges, Charles was a popular king, known for his charm, wit, and love of pleasure.